Look, I know what you're thinking. How does someone like me, a lowly cargo hauler from the Tertian Belt, end up owning a military-grade battlecruiser? Well, buckle up, because this story involves exactly three things. My complete lack of common sense, 10 credits I found in my flight suit pocket, and the worst decision/best decision of my entire life. My name is Vorn. Just Vorn. No fancy titles, no heroic backstory, nothing. I haul frozen algae between stations for a living, and let me tell you, it pays about as well as it sounds. So when my cargo freighter's atmospheric regulator decided to explode, spectacularly I might add, right above Station Quintara, I found myself drifting through the marketplace with exactly 10 credits, no ship, and a growing sense that the universe really hated me. That's when I saw it. The auction house was tucked between a noodle cart and what I'm pretty sure was an illegal cybernetics dealer. The sign flickered in 3 languages, all of them promising quality vessels at unbeatable prices. Which, if you know anything about station commerce, is code for, we're selling garbage. But please, come waste your money. I walked in anyway. What else was I going to do? Buy half a protein bar with my remaining funds and contemplate my life choices. The auction room smelled like burnt ozone and disappointment. About 15 beings were scattered across the benches, most of them looking like they'd rather be literally anywhere else. The auctioneer, a 6-armed Kelvorian with a voice that could strip paint, was currently trying to sell a slightly used shuttle with only minor hull breaches. Nobody was bidding. Then they brought out Lot 47 that the hologram flickered to life, showing a massive ship, all sharp angles and reinforced plating. It looked angry. If a ship could look like it wanted to fight every other ship in the sector, this was that ship. The armor was scorched black, covered in blast marks and what appeared to be burn scars from plasma cannons. 3 of its 8 engine pods were visibly damaged, and there was a hole in the port side you could fly a shuttle through. It was hideous. It was beaten. It was clearly, obviously, a horrible investment. Lot 47, the auctioneer announced, trying to inject enthusiasm into his tired voice. Former military vessel. Model K, 900 Warfang-class battlecruiser. Decommissioned after the Valorian conflict. Fully armored hull. Quad plasma batteries. Reinforced shield generators. He paused, looking at his datapad with considerably less enthusiasm. Also minor damage. Very minor. Some systems may need extensive repair. Previous owner was a warlord who may or may not have used it to commit several dozen war crimes. Ship is sold as is. Absolutely no refunds. Seriously, we will not give you your money back. Do not even ask. Silence filled the room. The other bidders looked at each other, then at the hologram, then back at each other. One of them actually laughed. Another got up and left. Starting bid, 1,000 credits. The auctioneer called out desperately. Nobody moved. 500 credits. Crickets. Well, not actual crickets, because we were in space, but you get the idea. 100 credits? Anyone? This is a military-grade battlecruiser. People. These things cost millions when they're new. A Threxian in the back made a rude gesture and walked out. The auctioneer's shoulders sagged. Well, 4 of them did. The other 2 kind of just hung there. Fine. 50 credits. Final offer. If nobody bids, we're scrapping this thing for parts tomorrow. I looked at my credit chip. 10 credits. That's all I had. That's all I had in the entire universe. My ship was gone, my savings were gone, my dignity was pretty much gone. I had nothing left to lose, which, looking back, is exactly the kind of thinking that gets you into situations like this. My hand went up before my brain could stop it. 10 credits. I shouted. The entire room turned to stare at me. The auctioneer blinked all 4 of his eyes in sequence, like his brain was buffering. I'm sorry, did you just bid 10 credits? For a battlecruiser? Yes, I said, with way more confidence than I felt. 10 credits. That's my bid. He stared at me for a long, uncomfortable moment. Then he looked at the empty room. Then back at his datapad. Then he shrugged, which when you have 6 arms is quite the production. 10 credits. Do I hear 11? No. Anyone? Going once, going twice. He paused, probably hoping someone would save him from this embarrassment. Sold. To the clearly insane Tertian in the back. Congratulations, you now own a war crime. And just like that, I owned a battlecruiser. The docking bay number flashed on my datapad. Bay 77, Lower Ring, Section K. As I walked out of that auction house, past the confused stares and barely contained laughter, I had exactly one thought running through my head. What in the name of all the stellar gods had I just done? Bay 77 was in the worst part of Station Quintara, which is really saying something because the entire station was pretty much a dump. I passed 3 different gang territories, 2 illegal fighting rings, and what I'm 90% sure was a shrine to an elder god that the Galactic Council had specifically banned worship of. The bay doors were rusted. That should have been my first clue to turn around. They opened with a screech that made my teeth hurt, and there it was. My 10-credit battlecruiser, sitting in the dim lighting like a mechanical nightmare someone had abandoned and forgot to take to therapy. It was so much worse in person. The hull plating was scorched beyond recognition. Entire sections looked like they'd been melted and then hastily welded back together by someone who'd maybe watched one tutorial video. The starboard weapons array was just gone, replaced by twisted metal and empty mounting brackets. One of the landing struts was bent at an angle that definitely violated several laws of physics. I stood there for a full minute, just staring. "This is fine," I said out loud to absolutely nobody. "This is totally fine. I've made great choices today." The access ramp was stuck, naturally, so I had to climb up using the external maintenance ladder, which was also broken, because of course it was. The airlock took 6 tries to cycle, made a noise like a dying animal, and finally opened with a hiss that smelled like burning plastic and regret. The interior was dark. Emergency lighting flickered on as I stepped inside, casting everything in a sickly red glow. The corridor stretched ahead, all metal grating and exposed wiring. Something was dripping somewhere. I chose not to investigate what. "Bridge," I muttered, consulting the ship's basic layout on my datapad. "Should be forward section, deck 3. I started walking. Every step echoed. Every shadow looked vaguely threatening. This ship had seen combat, serious combat, and it showed. Blast marks scarred the walls. Some corridors were sealed off entirely, doors welded shut with warning signs in 4 languages. One just said, "Do not open," with what appeared to be claw marks underneath. Super comforting. The bridge was, well, calling it functional would be generous. Half the consoles were dead. The main view screen had a crack running diagonally across it. The captain's chair looked like someone had taken a plasma cutter to it, probably while someone was still sitting in it. I sat down anyway. The chair immediately collapsed 6 inches with a pneumatic hiss. Great. Perfect. Wonderful. I reached for the main console, half expecting it to explode. Instead, it flickered to life, displaying a startup sequence that was probably older than I was. Text scrolled across the cracked screen in ancient military code. Then a voice spoke. "Female. Artificial. Board. Welcome aboard the Ironfang. Please state authorization code." I blinked. "The ship has an AI?" Incorrect response. "Please state authorization code or prepare for defensive countermeasures." Wait. Defensive countermeasures? I own this ship. I bought it at auction. Silence. Then, accessing station records. Verifying purchase. Transaction confirmed. Sale price, 10 credits. Updating crew manifest. New owner registered as Vorn, cargo hauler, tertian belt. The AI paused. If a computer could sound judgmental, this one did. You paid 10 credits for a Warfang-class battlecruiser. Analyzing decision-making capacity. Results inconclusive. Possible explanations include extreme financial desperation, neurological damage, or catastrophically poor judgment. Hey, I protested. "I'll have you know I'm." "Okay, yeah, all 3 of those are accurate." Acknowledged. I am designation Iris, 7, Tactical Combat AI. I have served aboard this vessel for 14 cycles. My previous captain used me to commit approximately 47 documented war crimes and several hundred undocumented ones. He died during a failed assault on a mining colony. Very embarrassing for everyone involved. I rubbed my face with both hands. Of course, my 10-credit ship comes with a sarcastic war criminal AI. Technically, I am not the war criminal. I simply facilitated the war crimes. Legal distinction. That doesn't make it better, Iris. Noted. Running full diagnostic scan. Results are concerning. Main power at 32%. Shield generators offline. Weapons systems offline. Life support functioning at minimum capacity. 3 engine pods destroyed. Hull breaches on 7 decks. Estimation for full repairs, approximately 4.2 million credits. My stomach dropped. For million? I have 0 credits. Negative credits, actually, because I spent my last 10 on this floating disaster. Observation: you are not good at financial planning. Before I could respond, the console lit up with proximity alerts. Something was approaching the bay. Multiple somethings. Iris, what is that? Scanning. 3 vessels. Configuration matches Vex Marauder attack craft. They are hailing us. Audio only. A voice crackled through the speakers, rough and aggressive. Attention, human ship. You are in Marauder territory. Departure tax is 50,000 credits, payable immediately. Failure to comply results in immediate salvage operations. They were going to blow me up. Of course they were going to blow me up. This day just kept getting better. Iris, I said quietly. What systems do we have operational? Anything? Weapons? Shields? A really stern verbal warning. Negative on weapons. Negative on shields. However, I am detecting residual power in the forward momentum drive and 1 functional plasma capacitor. Insufficient for combat. However, sufficient for an alternative strategy. What strategy? The AI's voice gained something that almost sounded like anticipation. Ramming speed. I stared at the console. The 3 Marauder ships were getting closer, weapons charging, and I smiled. Iris, you beautiful, homicidal computer. I think we're going to get along just fine. Plot the course. Acknowledged. Welcome aboard the Ironfang, Captain Vorn. Try not to die immediately. It would be disappointing after such an entertaining purchase. The engines roared to life, and my 10-credit nightmare lurched forward into the void. This was either the beginning of something legendary, or the fastest 10 credits I'd ever wasted. Probably both. So what did you think? Did this story surprise you? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this sci-fi story, please hit the like button. It really helps the channel grow. And don't forget to subscribe for more mind-blowing science fiction stories every week. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next story.